Recently, right, yeah.
It's like what you said.
I said you can send a joint. Not the thing that come in.
Okay, okay.
Oh, you
Yeah, the
know what?
pickle,
Don't
man.
even worry. You ain't got to.
Okay.
Don't nobody get on. You can. All right, so like we do this. Shalom. Shalom. Yeah. So we're back again with another issue, man. Another declaring again uh, from the beginning. But before we get into this issue, we would like to start off by giving all honor, praise, and glory and thanks to our Heavenly Father, in the name of His Son, Yahweh,
Yeah, Hawa, Bahashim,
Hashem,
Yahweh
Yahushua,
Shai, Waha, Rakakwadash.
of honesty and hope and the apostle slaves to be saved, Lord willing, start with those in the great Millstone Church, on down to the rest that may be out in the doctrine, to the brothers who live here in this congregation in the order, um, uh, giving all diligence and all true faith and sincerity, shalom, and to the rest people, you got the Aki, the other Aki, teaching also on down to the younger Aki, teaching and all true faith and sincerity as well. Shalom to the rest of the believers, you men, women, and children in on this faith of Yahweh Bashmi Shah. Shalom. All right. And that's ultimately to the elect, those that's going on to be found to have in the house of David. And yeah, and that's what it's all about, man. Once again. And we're in a time right now that this particular issue we're going to be pointing out, which in this particular issue we'll be pointing out of pretty much the Lord, He about to, we can start off in Hosea 2. The Lord, He's about to Mordecai to, the pride of Ephraim, the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom, the northern kingdom, that's not in the truth, and those that are in this truth, you know. All the things you see going on across the globe is getting ready to hit America, man, you know. And that's due to, people really don't believe that. And there's people in the truth that don't believe it. And that's really because of pretty much the state this place, America, allows people to be in. The mentality pushed out from the ruler of this place, the king of this place, being the so-called white man to the people, you know, and that's a complete disillusionment, you know, a complete bugged out into where you think, you know, you acknowledge your enemies, but you think nothing of them. You acknowledge the Bible, but you think it's just a game. You acknowledge that the prophets, right? But you clearly couldn't because you wouldn't do what you do. You know, your whole everything changed, and that completely has our people in a state of where they think they do the same, basically. They know danger exists. They know I know I'm an Israelite. I know this is gonna be, but they really don't. They really don't get it, man. And that's a complete like And it's due to pretty much America and the so-called white man being like their shipping game. Because the nation of Israel being the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians is likened unto a woman in the Most High's eye, which we're going to be touching on. Okay. But for instance, if you got a scripture, you bring it out. We can get Lamentations in the 4th chapter. And I'll come and support that with something else. To show the complete mental disarray of these people, man. You know, so I mean, they got it all twisted, man. You know, they acknowledge like so-called white man, but they don't really, you know, they really don't get it, man. And, I got two back here. You got Lamentations 4, you can jump to I want to say it's 7. It might be 9.
What you looking for?
My fault, 7, 4, basically watch for a nation that cannot save us.
Yeah, 17.
17. Okay. Yep.
Well, I just started. I'm sorry. 16.
No, you just go straight to the point. You got it.
Yeah. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet filled for our vain hope.
Right? See, for our vain hope. Who's that help? The so-called white man. All right? Matter of fact, let me get a scripture back in supporting that real quick. This is Isaiah. Or if you want to jump there, Isaiah. I already got 2. Isaiah 30. You can jump down to Sloppy. 30. Well, that's isn't 32, but 31. 31
You said 30 and 1?
Yeah. It's a specific one I want. I mean, you can read these because they completely it, but it's not the one you see. I know I'm looking over it. It's in the 30th chapter. It's in the, kind of 30. 30 and you can start at verse 2. Yeah, read what you just read again, and then we'll start at 1.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Lamentation chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet filled for our vain hope.
Yeah, for our vain hope. Why is that hope vain? Because it's so-called white man. You know? But let's get it. 30, and you can jump to verse 7.
Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 7. For the Egyptians shall hope in.
Yeah, go ahead, read it. It's cool. Then we'll just run it back. You got it.
Yeah, Isaiah 30 and 7. For the Egyptians shall hope in vain.
Right.
And to no purpose.
And that vain hope. So the reason why, if you could jump back.
Lamentations 4 and 17. As for us, our eyes as yet filled for our vain hope.
Because the R is dealing with Jake. So they know they're Israelites and don't know they're Israelites. Or know they're Israelites, but ain't really took took heed to it. You know, they're looking for help, but the help is in vain because they're looking for help in all the wrong places from all the wrong people. And that they're looking for help from the Egyptians. And, you know, like you just read, the Egyptians shall help in vain. See, that's that vain help. And who are the Egyptians? The Egyptians, you go ahead and jump back.
Yeah, hold on. The brother saying it's echoing when I'm speaking.
When you speaking or when I'm speaking?
When I'm speaking. Yeah, hold on, let me do this real quick.
Yeah, kind of, I'll pick it up. So this is Isaiah 30:7. It says, "For the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still." So those Egyptians is the modern day Americans, because it tells us in Revelation the 11th chapter how there's a spiritual Egypt, etc. Right? So those Egyptians are your modern day American citizens. You know, that, you know, look to help in the form of protesting, in the form of pitching in the form of city board meetings, council board meetings, being a helping hand, you know, a neighborhood watch. That stuff not gonna stop. That's vain help, because that's not gonna help you, so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians participate in that, because those people are the Egyptians that the scriptures is talking about, and all that is a trickle down to the number one. They can't to the number one vain helper, which is the Pharaoh of Egypt, which is the so-called white man. He completely vain. So if the so-called white man is vain, all his people vain, as it tells us in Sirach. I'll get it. You know, we're gonna get a few, and we're just gonna jump straight to the point of this lesson, of this watch. This is Isaiah 10, and I'm gonna start at 2. It says, "As the judge of the people is, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein." See that? And this is a foolish judge. This is a judge that's not actually the judge. You know, it tells us that. And let me grab it real quick. This is Psalms in the second chapter. Psalms 2. And I'm gonna start at verse 2. I'm actually starting here. I'm starting 2. It says, "The kings of the earth set themselves. The rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying," so those kings or those rulers, that's interchangeable for what? The judges of the earth. You know, and it tells you, for instance, I'm gonna jump to verse 10. It says, "Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings. Be instructed, ye judges of the earth." See that? So they pretty much are not really judges. You know, they're not. So that's, but the point being is the judges is interchangeable, or the kings is interchangeable for judges. You know, so when you read that in Sirach 10, it says, "As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein." So these people subject to being just like the judge, hence the king, right, or the Pharaoh of Egypt. You know, and that's heavy because they call it Egyptians. You know, they're subjected to where they're at. You know, and being just like the man that's ruling where they're at. So they're known where they're at, where these people are at. These people that you're trying to get help from, they're known as Egyptians. These are the Egyptians. Remember what the Lord did to the Egyptians in the ancient world. They couldn't help us. The Lord he had their number. He had his eye on destroying them. He killed their firstborn. He famished their whole land. And he was completely sending the men that he set up, which is your people, the prophets, his Moses, Aaron, and really those two, to talk to him. Give him word, you know, and all the people word from the Lord. You know, but like I said, fast jumping back to keep it simple, pretty much that should put you doing that now is just reduplicating that bit. You moving like this, man. You know, so it says, as the judge of the people is, so is like as the judge of the people is, so are the officers, and what manner the ruler of the city is, such are they that dwell therein. So, point being, you're just like whoever rules the city. So that's why these Egyptians can't help, because the Pharaoh couldn't even help. He had no help. He had no strength. It goes all the way back to the original account. And that's how the thing that has been is that which shall be. You know? So all these people vain. Pharaoh couldn't do nothing. He couldn't save us. Pharaoh was actually against us. And his people couldn't do nothing. You know, they can't do nothing. They can't save us, man. You see? And I'm going to read on. It says, an unwise king destroyed his people. But through the prudence of them which are in authority, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. And pretty much is the kings, the rulers of this place, they're not prudent by any means, man. You know, you people voted for Joe Biden. You know, you people all into, you know, like I said, the trickle down effect of how the so-called white man thinks. And it's to be seen by you as being help, but it's empty help. It's not really help. It's not getting you nowhere. You know, it's only to be actions and efforts to lead to the Lord finally bringing the destruction upon you, man, and upon this place, because these actions, you know, are actions he's against. The Lord don't want people marching for Ukraine because he's looking to destroy them people, man. The Lord not trying to make America great again. The Lord don't want people getting help that he's putting out of their homes. You know, that's not of the elect. You know, in so many ways, because everybody's little individual life is playing a part and the whole movie playing out. So it might, you know, you can say like that, but ultimately not. And my point of saying that, when you're moving like that, you're doing what? You're really fighting against the Lord, man. You know? So these people are really helping y'all what? These people are helping y'all fight against Yahweh Shem Shah, man. Everybody fighting against Yahweh Shem Shah, don't even know it. And that's really what the so-called white man is doing. And I had you know the so-called white man's mentality, who's this judge, who's this king, right? His mentality is, which is once again relevant because how his mentality is, how the mentality of the people is that follow him. You know, his mentality is he know he has enemies, for example. You know, I was waiting on the brother to bring out what he was reading, but you know, it's already here now, so I'll bring it up. He acknowledges his enemies, but this is how he deals with them. He thinks lightly of them. This is Psalms 10, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start at 4. It says, "The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High." And that's exactly how the so-called white man is, and that's exactly how we know Sirach 10 real, because you people just like that. Because the so-called white man, he like, I got this, so I ain't got to deal with the Lord. I don't need to hear that right now. You know, I know I can be without food, but I got food now. You see what I'm saying? That's how the damn so-called white man think. That's how Pharaoh think. But it says the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. His look is not in all his thoughts. His ways, so he's there, but he's not really considering the Lord. So he has a real proud, pompous disposition. His ways are always grievous. Look, thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he buffeted at them. And who's the so-called white man's number one enemy? Really, Yahweh. He hated Yahweh. He hates God. You watch that movie, what's that, Batman versus Superman with Lex Luthor? You know, he's trying to conquer God in that movie. You know, he hate the so-called white man, hate God, man. He hates his number one enemy is the Most High. But the scriptures say, as for all his enemies, he puff at them. And that trickles down to who? The Jacobites, the Israelites, Jacob. He's Esau, so-called white man is Esau. His number one enemy is on earth is physically is Israel. The so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And then he got other enemies, which these other nations. And look how he goes about it. So he can clearly see he got enemies. And the scriptures tell us, I think that Sirach 6, you can get it if you want to, brother. Then we're going to jump back to what you was originally reading. Sirach 6 and 13.
Yeah, come
on.
Sirach chapter 6 and verse 13. Separate thyself from thy enemies and take heed of thy friends.
See, separate thyself from thy enemies and take heed of thy friends. So the Lord, you're supposed to acknowledge your enemies. You're supposed to move like you got enemies. He ain't doing that. And think about it. This nigga be at the G20 summits, you know, and he and Kim Jong-un face as Donald Trump, so-called white man Esau, and Kim Jong-un hates America. You know, he really can't stand Esau. You know, you got them trying to meet with, you know, China, Xi Jinping, all these different enemies of his. Like us, they come in our face on the highway and we hold signs of them, you know, hanging us on, having us on postcards. And these, you know, so we clearly, and then we read about how you are enemy, how, you know, like, yo, this prophecy, this was the fulfillment of us being sold to our enemies. You know, and on the pictures is us being sold, so-called black people being sold to them so-called white people. And yet they'll still be in our face as the same people, as you know, as so-called white people. So we in your face telling you are enemies. But what do they sit there and do? They basically puff at that you know, that fact. They're like, man, you should separate from us in that moment. But they still just go on. So this is how the so-called, so he know he got enemies. He know, like it's brought out to him. I'm like, yo, bro, y'all going to slavery. We like, yo, you know, you going to slavery. Y'all the enemies, so-called, you know, God, the so-called black man, he hates you, you know, and y'all rape, rob, murder, pillage the whole earth. You know, we enemies, man. Like it's told to them to their face, and they don't acknowledge it. They don't take heed to it. They don't separate from us. They'll stand right there and be like, no, buddy, no, buddy. This is talking about so-called white man. All right, but. So it ain't that he don't know he don't got enemies. He just does it. He puff at them. He takes it for granted. He takes it for naught. And that is the mentality of the ruler, the judge, hence the king, hence Pharaoh, hence the so-called white man, the overseer of the citizens of America, hence the Egyptians. You know, the ruler of Egypt. You know, this is the mentality of the ruler of spiritual Egypt, being America, you know, and the ruler being the so-called white man, which has trickled down to you Jakes. All these people, but we talking about Jake. Really, all you people, man. You know? So that's basically it. We can read that one more time in Lamentations 4:17, and then we'll pick back up at Isaiah 30.
God. Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 17. As for us, our eyes are yet filled for our vain hope.
See?
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
See that? What does that sound like? Americans. America/Americans. That's that nation you think's been watching for that can't save you. You hoping, Betty down the street, she, hey Betty, pulling your little driveway and shit, And then this is the same woman that ran across the prophets that had told her, they are enemies, take heed. But she under the mindset of the ruler. She knows she got enemies, but she puffed at them. And then they may work together, and that'd be the same woman to get her fired. After she, hey, Daddy. When the Lord said, never trust thy enemies, separate from thy enemies. I mean, but you see what is about to get the so-called white man. It's going to get his ass destroyed, man. Period. Another reason why the Lord is going to be able to take us and lay vengeance on Edom with our hand, by the hand of his people Israel, because he take us for granted. He take us for naught, I should say. He puff at us. We're an enemy he don't suspect. He think we're mere monkeys. It's just like the movie, what's that? Planet of the Apes. They would have never thought, these they're clearly, enemy oriented towards y'all. But being you're a so-called white man, you puff at your enemies. That's how you get down. So they didn't even see it coming, and they ended up rising up, which that movie was used to depict us. The monkeys took them over, man. And they know that. But see, that's them puffing at their enemies, because they using monkeys to depict us. A monkey will kill you. A monkey will rip your fucking hands off, man. Rip your face off. A monkey's actually stronger than you. So why would you pump at a monkey? Why would you play with a monkey? Because you're a damn monkey. All right? So yeah. Did you finish that?
God.
You can read through 30th chapter in the first verse. We'll go ahead and get into it. 31, you go through 3.
Yep. It's Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. It says that want to go down into Egypt.
So who's those rebellious children? Well, say one will mean destruction. So destruction to the rebellious children. The children being the Israelites. You that's in on this truth and being told, or you that's not in on this truth and but you still an Israelite, still so-called Black, Latino, Native American Indian. But yet you refuse to hearken to this word. That will make you rebellious, because you're an Israelite and this word was given unto you. So if you don't hearken to it, you will be rebellious. The Lord says he said destroy them. You're going to be destroyed for that. It says the turning away of the foolish, the turning away of the simple shall slay him. So just off you rebelling, choosing not to take heed to this word, take this truth serious, the Lord will destroy you, man. It's going to get you destroyed. Tell you that in Proverbs, the 1st chapter. You can read on. And Yahweh says this, saith the Lord. The Lord's name being Yahweh. You got it?
Yeah, verse 2. It says that walk to go down into Egypt.
Continue, brother. Bible shop. And after the Lord. Now I explain the first part. After
Okay, kind.
Forward on back. You got it.
It says that take counsel,
Right.
but not of me.
Yeah. So you take counsel, you get instruction. You're gonna be destroyed for that. You choose to rebel against the instruction that's gonna actually help you, and instead seek the instruction, the counsel, the way out according to the so-called white man, according to your neighbor, your fucking so-called neighbors, like your so-called literal neighbors, according to popular belief, which is the nigga named Bob that watered his lawn, every damn morning. And he wears shorts all year round, which is damn open-toed sandals. With his wife named Betty, who sits on a foldable, and y'all meet up in your little suburb, grass that separates their driveway from your driveway. And y'all talk, and he suggests things for you, no matter if you're a so-called black woman or so-called black man. Oh, you should go down here. Or my wife, she'll hook you. That's counsel. Oh, we're having a board meeting. You should come down. Or if you at the damn job and they telling y'all what to do in wake of, the damn shamdemic, you just wear a mask and you just stay, you really start to believe that shit the whole time. You got brothers that's telling you like, yo, all this is bullshit, That's rebelling against the counsel that's for you, and instead you will go on to adhere to, once again, the people at your job, your boss, and your so-called neighbor, hence the Egyptians, hence the modern day Americans, who's written to be destroyed according to the one that holds everyone's spirit in his hands, man. That has predestinated everybody. You instead seek to them, which is vain because they're written to be destroyed. Their actions are actions of people that will be destroyed, that are about to be destroyed, that were written to be destroyed. And instead, you hearken to what the fuck they tell you. And then what's crazy, they'll tell you the truth and you still won't listen. You won't listen to that. That's why I said, so I think that's Jeremiah the 9th chapter. It says how my people have taught their tongues to speak lies. I'm gonna read this real quick. This bad. This is Jeremiah 9, and I'm gonna start at verse. I'm gonna start at 3. It says, and they bend their tongues like their bow for lies. You quick to fight over lies. You quick to fight over the so-called white man not being our enemy. You bend your bow, they quick to bend their bow for a lie. He didn't do it. He did do it. You damn dummy. Lord said, utterly destroy nephew, you're going to cut off nephew, grandson, and everybody if they don't rise and populate the cities, man. They're a seed of evildoers, man. Don't you know through that same so-called white boy you saying ain't do it, if you was to destroy all the white people that did do it, if you will, they could come back through him? You fucking idiot. It says what? But they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth. See? So Jake quick to go to battle for lives, go to war for lives. Literally, niggas join the army. You know what I'm saying? All for a lie. Goddamn Afghanistan ain't terrorizing nobody. They getting their shit in order. And America trying to steal their fucking oil. You damn dumbass. But you niggas quick to go to fight for your country. This ain't your fucking country. And this ain't their country. You damn dumbass. For they proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me, saith the Lord Yahweh. Take ye heed, every one of his neighbors. Don't you know they got the concept of neighbor from us? Your neighbor is those that's kin to you. It ain't somebody that fucking live next door to you. And even in that sense, that go back to us being at home in Israel. Your neighbor will be the one that lives next door to you in its totality. Because one is an Israelite, and your neighbor is somebody next to you or close to you. But it's actually talking in physical relation, man. It's talking biological, man. Niggas don't know neighbor biological. First off, don't you know they made the Bible? The Bible was made. Don't you know they made America off what the Bible say? No, you don't know because you don't fucking listen. It said, but you heard, you know. It says, and trust ye not in any brother. See that? So neighbor is synonymous with brother. For every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders. You know? And it says, and there's the point. Did you say something?
Lie.
It says Esau playing with the fucking views like a bitch. You know, the fuck Esau and the views. How about that? This is Jeremiah 9. Lord, hey, Moses is going in the record book, man. You know, it's good. You know, the heavens. The hell with this place and you people and all this algorithm shit. This is Jeremiah 9 and 5. It says, and they will deceive every one his neighbor. See? And will not speak the truth. And will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies and weary themselves to commit iniquity. You know? And that's exactly it. And I'm gonna just read this. It says, thine habitation is in the midst of deceit. Through deceit, they refuse to know me, said the Lord Yahweh. You know? You fucking man, you niggas, man. You damn niggas, bro. You know, you're damn dummies. And I'm gonna just read this next verse. It says, therefore, thus says the Lord Yahweh Bashmal Shah of hosts, behold, I will melt them. You see? And try them. For how shall I do for the daughter of my people? So the Lord he gonna melt your ass. And we in the time of him melting your ass. World War III brewing, man. But you don't want to listen. And you can see it. What's so crazy, they can fucking see it, though. They can see the shit. They can see it. And they still refuse to know the Lord, man. They still want to hear the so-called white man. A nigga in this time will come up to you and tell you he didn't do it. He quick to draw his tongue like a bow against you. Nigga, you know, you tell her, you point at the so-called you the damn devil. And then here come a damn, you know, a word across your ear from this angle, flying at you like a bow that's saying he didn't do it. And you looking, you move, you see who it is, you know, because that's a lie. You move out the way of that shit. You're like, look, it's Jake, you know? That's the Lord said. It's fucking Jake, man. You damn fucking dummies. This Jeremiah 4:22 says, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. You see? They are Sodom's children. That means very stupid. Very. And then, because you stupid, because the Lord said he gonna melt you for doing this shit. And we telling you the melt means the nuclear war. America being hit with nuclear war. And here it is, all that shit manifesting. And they still, nigga stupid. You ain't gotta break it down, right? Let me turn the news on. They say, look, when we hold them signs up of Babylon will be destroyed, we can just be like, go watch ABC. Babylon will be destroyed by nuclear fire. America will be destroyed by USSR. You know, watch, you know, ABC, bro. Go turn on, you know, go watch Fox. They'll tell you this shit. And niggas will still come argue with you. That proves this. My people are foolish. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are Sodom's children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. All right? You got it, brother.
Yeah, Kai. Isaiah chapter 31, continue. It says, and that covered with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Yep. So there it is, man. You can read that from the top one more time. Tie it on home.
Yeah, kind. Chapter 31. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua.
And when you war again, you're going to get melted. No, go ahead. That's one of the ways. That's the ultimate way. But it's more destruction on the way for your ass, man. And we just did a lesson on that, the 4 ways. If you ain't watched that lesson, something wrong with your ass, man. Especially if you know about it. Because a lot got revealed in that. You know, that would help you. It ain't the same old fucking spill, man. We actually getting somewhere with what we doing. We're not standing in the same place. So you men in this truth that think you know every fucking thing, man. Lord gonna humble your ass, man. He gonna humble your black ass. This is the Lord's word. This ain't our word. This word goes further and further, man. You know, it ain't just no, it's levels, man. It's layers. Those 4 winds, you know, they being released, you know. One is being held, man. Like I said, go watch that lesson if you ain't watching, man. That class understanding. Very powerful through the spirit. And the one how Bashem Yahushua, everything he allowed to come out. You know? You got it.
Yeah, kind. It says that take counsel, but not of me.
I feel privileged. I feel honored, man. You know, and hearing that, you know, hearing about destruction that gets you on your shit. You know? Because the Lord, he just makes it realer to us. It's one thing when we know destruction is going to happen, but when the Lord starts showing us in detail, like, yo, this is really going to happen. How is it going to happen? It's like he slow everything down. It's like when I tell you regular speed versus, it's like when you watch somebody get knocked out regular speed and then somebody put it on slow-mo, you know? See a nigga throw the perfect, you know. That's basically what we're doing when we constantly go over things. Putting it in slow-mo, and you're able to see more, you know, more come out, you know, but you got it.
Kind. Isaiah 30 and 1 continue. It says, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Yeah, you cover with a covering, but not of the Lord's spirit, man. So you're trying to keep yourself from looking bad from certain shames, but it's not according to the word. You know, people trying to keep themselves from being naked, but it's not of the Lord's spirit. You know, people trying to put veils on them, but it's not of the Lord's spirit. You know, people trying to keep themselves dignified, but it's not according to the Lord's spirit. It's not according to the word. You know, a woman, like, she'd be naked, she'd be like, but I ain't wearing that though. Because, you know, the standard now is, you know, a bikini top and some lime green fishnet leggings with the bikini bottom underneath it. And she's like, but I ain't gonna walk outside ass naked. You know, that's the covering. That's a covering. That's the covering of America, which is no covering, basically. Nothing at all. You got it.
Yeah, Con, it says, may add sin to sin.
See, add sin, and that's off, because if you take that covering and you a so-called black woman, Latino woman, Native American, Indian woman, whatever, however you like to hear it, right? If you take of that covering, you a whore. What was it described as a whore? And there shall be no daughter, no whore is the daughter of Israel, man. So, and if you do take of it, you will be a whore, and that's what a sin. You know, you can't do that. And then a lot of y'all, that helps y'all get into being strippers. So, you gotta think of everything a gateway. So women's conduct everyone's conduct leads them to certain things. From the people you talk to, people around, the way you dress, the way you address things, you hold yourself. Well, you know the bitch is stripping. She started off just wearing a little skimpy shit as a youngin'. And that led to her being with other girls that like that. And then that led to, you know, her going to work like that. Probably had a little permit, Then she started going to work skimpy or something like that. She'd probably come to work, at a McDonald's with a sports bra, before you to get some money, right? Next thing you know, she just started dressing like that to get money. You're a whore. That's sin. You can't do that. And that's what, and you know where that's famous at? Here. Magic City, Hole in the Wall, strip club, Players Club. That movie was shot in America. You know what I'm saying? And they can hear all this is right and true, but they still keep doing, and they know like it's something that pay them back for that, but they just won't repent. But see, the Lord got something for you, and basically you're hearing that it's an enemy. Like your sins have an enemy, if you can receive it. So your sins has an enemy. There's enemies to your sin that's out to your sins that's out here, and that's what these angels that work for Yahweh Shemel Shai, and these men that work for Yahweh Shemel Shai. Ultimately, your heavenly Father Yahweh Shemel Shai. Your big brother, the one that put Yahweh Shai. Those are enemies against that, man. Righteousness is an enemy against your wickedness. Good is set against evil. That's the ways of death. What's the enemy of death? Life. But once again, just like the one that caused you to get into this mentality, just like his mentality, which is so-called white man, when it comes to your enemies, you puff at them. Like a dumbass. You acknowledge that they're there, like him, but you puff at them. And it's about to bring, and that allows certain calamities to come upon you. And that's exactly how the Lord's going to get these people, which we're going to get into. You got it.
God, Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Yeah, so pretty much Egypt being the shadow because it's about to pass away. The sun's going to go down on this place. If you can get St. John 9:4.
God.
I'm going to speak on everything in reverse. In that verse.
All right, 1 John.
Go ahead. St. John 9:4.
I thought you said 2 John. St. John chapter 9 and verse 4. It says, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work.
Night is when the sun go down. So the Lord telling us the night is coming. So that means what? The night, the sun is about to go down. And that's why we're here to tell your ass before the sun go down. And what's the sun? It's this word, man. The sun is this word. All right? I'll get a quick scripture on that. This is in the Apocrypha. You can read that one more time.
Yeah, St. John chapter 9 and verse 4. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work.
Yep. Okay, this is in the book of Sirach. And let me just grab this in Sirach 24 chapter. This is Sirach 24 and 27. It says, he maketh the doctrine of knowledge appear as the light. See that? Because night is when you can't see. And light is synonymous with what? The day. What's out there in the day? The sun. You know what I'm saying? It's the word. And I got another scripture to back that up. Right? The Son is the Word. This is in the book of Habakkuk, Slaki. Woo, man. Oh, that's heavy. Yes, hey, that's tough. This is a big one. Hold on. Yeah. If you can hold Micah 3, nah, that's too much. This is Malachi 4 and 2. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son, as you in, see, shall the Son of righteousness arise with willing, it's like with healing in his wings. But he's talking about the Son. And it's, that's talking about Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai gonna arise with healing in his wings, and Yahweh Shai is known as what is the word. But this is depicted, this is mentioned in Yahweh Shai, hence the word, like the Son. Why? Because Yahweh Shai, he gave life. And ye shall go forth as the calves of the stall. And just to prove that, this is St. John in the first chapter. We will get verse 1. It says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, or a God, that's what we're supposed to say. It says, verse 4, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. See that? There it is, man. No. So Yahweh Shai, that's why he's the Son, because it's like the Son, he gives light. You know? You know what I'm Isaiah 9th chapter. You got something?
We keep on.
It tells in Isaiah 9th chapter what? How pretty much Yahweh Shai, the Lord sent the word, and the word lighted upon, Jacob. So that's that Son, man. Like how it say in the kingdom, we're not gonna need the Son anymore. Not to go so deep into this, you know what I'm saying? But it's because how we're gonna be shining. We're gonna have Yahweh Shai. Now the Son not gonna actually go away. It's just mean we got that much light already. You know what I'm saying? It's used to really convey to us how bright, as the scriptures talk about, Yahweh Shai's coming return is going to be. And then we're going to shine bright as the light, as the stars in the firmament. But yeah, so the night coming when no man can work, man. So the Lord telling us the day about to go away, the sun's about to go down. You're not going to be able to see. And that's why we're here to tell you this now. So we can jump back to that. Isaiah.
Yeah, come.
Yep.
Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Yeah, and like I said, just like when the sun goes down, hence the fruit is going to go away. When that night comes, that's when it's complete darkness out, and we ain't gonna be here to tell you that no more. But just like when that happened in the actual day when the sun goes down, what happens? The shadows go away. So you basically gonna be able to lose everything you about. It's a time coming where you about to build, the Lord's about to make it to where you are going to be forced to lose everything that you trust in. Every piece of America, everything that America gave you as a form of relief is about to go away because it's compared to the shadow. All right, you can read that one more time.
Yeah, Isaiah 30 verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked in my mouth.
And that means what? That means what? That means you trying to assimilate with America. Okay? And you ain't supposed to put it's off because the Lord never told us to assimilate with America. He told us to what? Arise and depart. telling you arise and depart. We're not here to assimilate. You know, you damn so-called Native American Indians, you was never supposed to assimilate. You're not supposed to be signing peace treaties and assimilating and all these other matters, man. And it's spiritual because the tribe of Dan got amalgamated, man. You know, basically, they assimilated so much to where they just mixed in with the rest of the tribes, right? So that shows you what, I just say that to say assimilation can result in your ass no longer being around by default. Because if you assimilate, which it talks about in Romans, the 12th chapter, which I'll get real quick. This is Romans 12. This is the dangers you risk when you assimilate, man. This is Romans 12. And verse 2, it says, and be not conformed to this world, meaning don't assimilate. You're not supposed to assimilate. That's what? That's a commandment. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Yeah, and assimilation starts in the mind. When you first accept it, man. Because before you know it, you're not Israel no more. You what those you have assimilated with are saying you are. You know? Now you got Jake's talking about they not a color, they're not anything. I'm just a person. I'm just light. I'm African American, I'm all this other bullshit, man. It says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? You're supposed to come out of this because it was prophesied that was gonna happen to us. So this is talking in that regard, like that to us, like because that obviously went on to happen. Like we assimilated for a point in time. Even us that's in this truth now. We assimilated, you know. Probably not, you know, by desire, but just by design, you know, by subjection of him, you know, and him being the Most High, he subjected us to this shit. It says that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh Basham Shah. So we're not supposed to assimilate. And you assimilate, you know, I think maybe for some reason it just seemed like that. The Lord, what's the point of Dan really being amalgamated? You know, which is through once again, basically them disappearing, which is through them assimilating, mingling among the tribes so much. What would be the point of him allowing something like that to happen? Everything is spiritual. I think to show us what mingling it so much does. You know, this is me speaking. You know, from my stick. You know, outside, you know, I'm just, you know, I'm probably say speaking as a man. You know, but you got it.
Yeah, Isaiah 32, and continue. It says to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh.
Yeah, you see. So you walk out and go to Egypt. You go to assimilate into America, but it's not according to the word. You're doing it to what? To actually try to come up, to actually, to be, you know, gain, get resources, connect, all that. You're trying to assimilate, you know, with the place that's anonymous historically. Is renowned for being destroyed by the Creator. You know, why the fuck would you do something like that? Think about that. Why? We can go to Egypt now. You can pull Egypt now and look at how Egypt look now. Egypt was the modern day then America. Everybody was there. Kings, it was gold, niggas doing stunting, niggas bald heads, strippers, niggas in witchcraft, all type of shit, man. You know? The Israelites was in slavery, you know what I'm saying? It was America. And look at the results of that place. You know, it's a monument to those that will come after. You know? Go ahead, bro.
Okay. Isaiah 30:2 continue. It says, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Yeah, it's already spoken. We got.
Yeah, verse 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh
be your shame. In the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion.
Yeah, because it's going to get dark out. You know, and what was also made to believe is so real and so there for you is going to like just dissipate in your hands. It's like a shadow. 1 minute you standing outside and your shadow whole there is with you the whole time, however many hours. You probably getting it in with the shadow. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then at some point, you having no jurisdiction over that arises. You know, comes, which is when the shadow just dissipates slowly away from you. And you like confounded, like damn, you know, period. And you can't, and you got so many wise guys out there, but I ain't gonna respond. You know, I can just hear this shit. Good here, bro.
God.
You can look the 7.
Isaiah 30:4, it says, for his princes were as Zoan, and his ambassadors came to Hanes.
Yeah,
they were all.
I'll say you can just jump to 7, but you can go ahead and just jump to 7. Just jump to 7.
Yeah, kind of. It's like Isaiah 30:7, it says, for the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still.
Yeah, okay. Now, go ahead and continue.
Verse 8, now go, write it before them at a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever.
Yep, see? And that's it. Go ahead. That's what we're doing right now. We got it.
That this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which say to the seers, see not.
Yep.
And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things.
That's when you get on the channel and we're telling you everything you need to hear, and you click out. You know what I'm saying? Or we're on the highways and you walk past, or you hear what we're telling you. Might stop and actually commune with us. You go, I gotta go, fellas. I love it. You know, I can do this all day. You know what I'm saying? How long y'all gonna be out here? You know, this is different disguises. You know, a nigga basically telling you, you know, a nigga saying, you know, prophesy not unto me right things comes in many disguises. You know, and those are some of the many disguises of that shit, man. You know, they get on the phone with you. I got it. You know what I'm saying? Fuck out of here, man. You know, you got it.
God. Yeah, verse 10 continue. It says, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceits.
That's what niggas want to hear, man. Whatever smooth for you today, that's what you want to hear, man. You know, you got it.
Get you out the way.
See? You know, you got it.
Turn aside out of the path. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us.
Basically, they're like, let me walk on into destruction. You know, I know family comes, bro. I heard all that. I know about the Israelites. Remember, the chick told me this bitch outside delivering pieces. You know what I'm saying? On a bike with a big ass, like a damn jetpack was on her. She looked stupid as hell. I know about the Israelites. You know? You don't know shit. Hey, the man think if he knows anything, he knows nothing that he ought to know. You know? You don't even know who you're talking to. You know? How about that? You know? And that's a good depiction. Like, of green pastures, with the Lord walking around the whole time, in the disguise. You know? One's cussing the Lord out, don't even know it. And that's really what you're doing. Because the Lord said he's going to come and he separate the sheep from the goats. And he's going to tell the people on his left to get the hell out of here because he was like, when I was, hungry and sick, you didn't clothe me, you know what I'm saying, and etc. He gonna tell other people, pretty much when I was sick, you came to me. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me drink. And they're gonna be like, Lord, what did we do this unto you? And he's gonna be like, you did it to one of the brothers. You did it to one of my brothers, so you did it unto me. You know what I'm saying? All the time. So I just say that to say you got people out here cussing these same people out, telling them get the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? I got my Israelites. The whole time that's your house shot. Lord, when I tell you I know about the Israelites. Play it back to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about the South. Speaking for ourselves, I'm wondering what the Lord talking about, man. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump to back to the point. Oh, matter of fact, continue.
Yeah, kind. Yeah, Isaiah 30 and 12. Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness.
See, that's happening. He said, because you despise this word. That's your house shot. See that? The whole time you hating your house shot. You like, Lord, when did I hate you? That's heavy. Like the nigga politely shot the Bible. That's like the equivalent of him shooting. He took a machine gun and shot bullet holes in the Bible. That's like him shooting, And it's after him learning about Yahushua, Yahushua. He did all, he was going to do all that. That's like the equivalent of you shooting the Lord up. And we know your ass is Israelite, so you was one of those ones that delivered the Lord over and asked for Barnabas instead. They was a bug out, man. Southern Kingdom bug out. He was one of them niggas, man. So to see that like that, man, that's crazy, man. He shot a bunch of bullet holes in the Bible. And once again, I said that's post him knowing the truth. Now it's different if you do some crazy shit like that and you don't know the truth, but he knew. So he marked. That nigga's fucking marked. You got it.
Yep, kind of. It says, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon.
Yep.
Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant.
Yep. That's exactly what's about to happen. All that shit you trust in is like a wall ready to burst. And it's going to burst on you. It's like a bust pipe. And, and then the results of that, you're not going to be able to really gather yourself and collect. You ain't going to be able, it's going to be suddenly. You can't really stop it. It might destroy that happening. You losing certain stabilities that was told to be supposed stability for you. That causes that causes that's pretty much it's like when water come out of that hole, out of that wall ready to burst. That shit could destroy all the other shit that was supposed to be stability for you, man. Just because that home was said to be stable, right? But then if it had like a hole, if it had like a pipe in the wall that was ready to burst, and the wall was getting real soggy, the shit was imploding from the inside, and then it burst. A home's supposed to be stability. That's one of the things that's supposed to represent your stability. But the whole time it was never stable. And then off you losing that aspect of stability, a certain aspect of stability being lost by you can result in all your other aspects of stability being affected. It's like shit. If something come up and you gotta pay for it, that might affect something else that needs to be paid for. It will usually be paid for, but you ain't able to pay for it. To get the wall fixed, now you can't pay your car note. then there go your car. You know, the wall, or simply when that water come out of the wall, there go, you know, your damn floor. Your floor mildew is ruined, is rotten, or whatever the hell, man. You lose your phones because it got all over the phones. You just spent $1,000 on the latest iPhone. So people don't even think this simply like that. Because you know, don't be trying to talk high up. It's just that shit easy, but you gotta talk on these levels, man. You know, nigga not thinking like a nigga just bought like a new phone that's like $1,000. A nigga. You know, no matter how he got it. And he don't see that, you know, the turn away of this knowledge, which is simply him saying, like, I don't believe the Lord is in control of what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? He not saying that, him simply not acknowledging that, which at that moment could be a word he needs to take heed to, because something that he was written to lose the next day is about to come to him. And if he will listen, if you will, right, the Lord said he know how to reward a man in the day of death. You know, he will reward a man in the day of death. So if he would have just stopped to listen, it probably would have affected what will go on to happen to him the next day. And then whatever that may be could be shit. Like I said, it could be, he probably got cleared, damn, you know, some pipe burst, and then kill a phone he just spent $1,000 on. And he only had like 600 left or some shit like that. You know, now he down to $600. He had a plan to do it, you know. That's what's happening. And before you know it, now he's trying to figure out how to get that back, and now the other shit he got is being affected. So it's just like, you know, it's just completely just like the elder Apostle Carl speaking of. It's a domino effect. Really. That's really what's going on. You know? Every one thing leads to another thing. You know, it's just how it goes. So let's go ahead and jump to would you hold anything else?
No, that was it.
All right. This is Ezekiel 12, and I'm gonna start at we'll get to the point. This is Ezekiel 13. And I'm gonna start at I'm gonna start at 9. And my hand shall be upon the prophets that see vanity and that divine lies. They shall not be in the assembly of my people. Neither shall they be written in the writing of the house of Israel. Neither shall they enter into the land. Ye shall know that I am the Lord God. Because they have seduced my people, saying peace, and there was no peace. And one built up a wall, and lo, others daubed it with untempered mortar. Okay? And we go into that word tempered. Let me get that word mortar. Tempered is like plaster, you know, for those that know about building a house, stuff like that. And it's like this shit called plasterboard, and it's not real, it's weak. You know what I'm saying? That like material, like plasterboard. And when you go into Salaki, you go into mortar.
Pouring concrete.
Salaki, not like you said though. When you go into the word dog is plastic. And then when you go into untipped mortar, you get mud plaster or white wash. So it's just it's really like some it's not nothing. How can I say it? It's not nothing official. You know, it's like uh, it's really not stable. It's like a rough draft. It's not. It's like something for the time being. It's like to get something going, if you will. It's like that. But it says, what you gonna say, Al?
No, you continue.
All right, all right. This is Ezekiel 12, Shlocky 13. And then I'm gonna bring that out in Hebrew. I'm gonna actually read that to you first. Then I'm gonna bring it out. Ezekiel 13:10. It says, this will happen because these evil prophets deceive my people by saying all is peaceful when there is no peace at all. It's as if the people have built a flimsy wall. See? And these prophets are trying to reinforce it by covering it with whitewash. So when you really that's like initial shit. That's not really stable. That's like you see a lot of homes with that shit, like cheap ass homes and shit they just trying to, and that's so heavy because that's niggas selling you some bullshit, man. You know, niggas selling you some bullshit of something that looked to be the part, but it's not really even finished. It's not nothing they should really be saying. You selling you like if shit hit the fan, it's not nothing that's gonna hold up. You know, it's that type of stuff. And initially, it's like I can't even say it's like level one. This is not nothing that's gonna hold up. You know? Dog.
Strong's H 2902. To act. To act.
Yeah, he's good. All right. And so the basic I'm in the action of you know, which is through their words. And then you go into the word mortar, like untempered.
Strong's H 8602. Tateo. Tateo.
Paul, Paul, and it says foolish, insipid, tasteless, unseasoned. See that? So it kind of do go into what I'm saying, like it's like level one. Because I'm not no damn carpenter, but I know it's all common sense. I done been in those situations. That shit you gonna use to build a wall, but it ain't the final product. If anything, it is like level one. But that is not something I would necessarily say to explain that. I would use a better word like unseasoned. But when you use the words like level or levels, and then you dealing with seasoning, that goes back to that. You know, see, that goes into seasoning, or seasoning kind of goes into level. And when you're dealing with seasoning, that's like level. Because when you properly season something, it's you got like coating, you know what I'm saying? Then you got like layers. You don't just season your fucking food, you know, if you really cook it. Because you can see, it's like chicken. You can season and marinate your food before you fry it. And then you can fry the shit with the seasoning on top of that. You know, and then you have that final product. And then, you know, people even get their food afterwards, they'll throw some more seasoning on top of the shit when it's done. You know, I used to do that with my eggs. You know what I'm saying? So just to get you understand, but it says tasteless, flavorless. That's the meaning for insipid. Bland, weak, thin, watery, watered down. So yeah, it's light. Plasterboard is like that shit they be using in karate dojos. You know, that shit don't be no real. Well, I don't know what type of wood that be. But that should be, that's how you got kids that can break. And then when you go into the seniors Calvary lexicon, it says with which a wall is covered, cement, cement, yeah. So that's it's just some light ass unlevel level one, in the process of trying to do something, and they just leave you with that and tell you something, sell that shit to you. When it says verse 12, 11, and the KJV say unto them which dog it with untempered mortar. Untempered. It says that it shall fall. There shall be an overflowing shower, and ye shall slaughter, and ye, O great hailstones, shall fall, and a stormy wind shall rend it. Man, it says, that's basically it, man. And it says, lo, when the wall is fallen, shall it not be said unto you, where is the dogging, wherewith ye have dogged? Now we're dealing with what? Their foolishness. What's up with that shit you were saying? Why they what those beliefs, those certain beliefs, that you can acknowledge your enemies and not take that shit's so stupid, you're gonna die, man. You're gonna die. And it says what? It says, therefore, thus says the Lord God, Yahweh Shalom Shah, I will render it even with a stormy wind in my fury, and there shall be an overflowing shower in my anger, and great hailstones in my fury to consume it. So will I break down the wall that ye have dogged with untempered mortar, and bring it down to the ground, so that the foundation, it says, so that the foundation therefore shall be discovered, and it shall fall, and ye shall be consumed in this way, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Thus will I accomplish my wrath upon the wall, and upon them that have dogged it with untempered mortar. And it will say unto you, the wall is no more, neither they that dogged it. Yeah, that wall is the belief system, that wall is the mentality, that wall is the mind. Because Yahushua said, if any man hear my voice, I will knock and come unto him. If you hear my voice, I'm gonna knock and knock on the door. The doors is connected to what? Walls. So the doors is said to be in the mind. The walls got to be there too. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you know it's going back to words, and there's a certain belief system, man, a certain mentality. We're going to knock all that shit down based upon what he's going to do. They're going to be forced. They're going to be. That's heavy. Because they go into what? They go into the garbage. Because what happens? What happened behind what they say? What happened behind closed doors? Walls represent privacy. You're gonna be naked. You're gonna be out here, man. Your mentality's gonna have you out here. So it's the Lord. This is one big message, man. You're gonna be exposed to the elements, man. The element of truth in response to lies. You got something?
Lie.
It says, to wit, the prophets of Israel which prophesied concerning Jerusalem and will see visions of peace for her, and there is no peace, says the Lord God. Which we see why. Why would it be peace for these type of people? Why? All right, and I'm gonna get this last one, and we're gonna touch on Hosea 2, and then we're gonna get what I got here closed up. It's Hosea 12, and I'm gonna start at verse 2. It says, Son of man, thou dwellest in the midst of his house. See, it's the same message. It says, which have eyes to see and see not. Can't make this up. It says, they have ears to hear and hear not, for they are a rebellious house. Therefore, thou son of man, prepare these stuff for removing, and remove by day in their sight. And thou shalt remove from thy place to another place in their sight. It may be they will consider though they be a rebellious house. So the Lord gonna have you seeing things like dominoes, man. He gonna have like this. Like he make you seeing it. Like he can show you like in a video instance or somebody that's like descriptive of what they fucking telling your dumb ass, man. This is how he's getting us to see it. You see this shit, man. You see what brothers are saying. I'm not trying to wake nobody up, but then I ain't trying to wake nobody up to preach the word to the elect. Because you niggas not gonna get it. But I understand at the end of the day when the Lord had to come out like this, why? Because the destruction gonna be that bad. You ain't gonna be able to say nobody told you. Nobody wasn't fucking yelling and screaming, hey, hey! Even though we know you ain't gonna get it, but you can't have it, you ain't gonna be able to say that. And hey, that's what's up. How about me outside is how he moved. But I'm gonna jump to the point. This is Salaki. This is Ezekiel 12, and I'm gonna start at verse man. And then he go on and talk about all the things, you know, that pretty much these instances he would have Ezekiel do go on to represent. Obviously, that's removing from our place and going to another. And then you know what's so spiritual about it? This gonna happen again. He's like, yo, move, pack your stuff, and go to somewhere else. You know? That's gonna happen again. Man. And it says, then shalt thou bring forth thy stuff by day in their sight. See, day is when you can see. That's the spirit. As stuff for removing. And thou shalt go forth at even in their sight. See? Oh, see? And that show you what? We're not going to be around forever. See? I must do the works of him now. I must work the works of him now that sent me. For the night cometh when no man can work. The Lord said at even we out of here. Night is after even. Ain't no way possible you hearing no truth in that. He said at even leave. So the Lord basically wants this shit almost getting close to completely being like dark. Okay, ain't no hope. Darkness has completely covered these people. That just means it's completely light. And it's time, you know, and we getting close to the evening. We finna be out of here, man. Cause I you know, it don't even feel like we're on here talking to everybody. It just feel like, you know, it's just prophesying. It's just, you know, it's just out here. We're speaking it out to the, you know, they like to say the universe and all this other shit. Nobody ain't listening, man. You know, brothers had to cuss, you know, the brothers Zahab, you know, they had to cuss the dick out on the comment board. This nigga on the comment board talking about, they don't call him a nigga because he could get elected to survive. But he had to get cursed out because he on the comment board talking about how one of the brothers is a good orator, you know, or something like that. You know, and they started saying, he was like, man, you know, the brother was like, man, that don't matter, man. He's like, I forgot what the brother said, man. But basically, Zahab, the elder brother Zahab, he responded and was like, basically, why you talking about brothers a good orator, like you ain't listening to nothing we tell you. Brothers not listening. You such a good orator, why you ain't out here teaching? Where your camp at? Why you ain't doing the work? And it just really showed me like how a lot of brothers really, you know, and that's a detailed brother. He going to a lot of like good messages, you know, and he basically in this spirit perceiving and must don't listen. And he give a lot of useful stuff. So that was really like, that was Friday. And I just started laughing. I was like, yeah. I was like, who ain't been there that's cussed up? You know? Motherfuckers don't listen, man. Motherfuckers don't listen. We have a hard time being the truth listening, man. People ain't nobody listening. And the Lord said it. He told Ezekiel that the third time. They will not hear thee. They will not hear me. They ain't gonna hear the Lord, and that's all we preaching. Nobody listening to us, man. You know? People hearing us, people running into us, everybody and their mama, really. Really everybody. But ain't nobody listening. And it's all going to be manifest that everybody did see us and was hearing us, like how we was talking about yesterday on the highways. You know, motherfuckers gonna see, man. We keep telling y'all all day long that this coming. That's really all we're going into. Really just the outcome. But I don't even really want to go into it now. We probably just save that Hosea 2 for a class last understanding. You know, they know that's for the serious mind. So why merge all that good understanding, you know, on this? You know, we probably just gonna get a scripture to prove famine on the fucking way to you people. And to save Hosea the second chapter, man. You know? You know? Anyway, but I will read this. It says, and thou shalt go forth at even in their sight. They want to listen to Ezekiel. It says that look, as they that go forth into captivity. See that? That's what that was representing. You know? I'm gonna jump down to the point. It says, verse 15, and they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, when I shall scatter them among the nations and disperse them in the country. So that's what Yahweh was using Ezekiel to represent. And everybody was seeing Ezekiel do that, looking, listening. Ezekiel was probably saying stuff, but nobody was really listening. But then when the stuff came, that's when everybody acknowledged that they did hear. Like it said right here. They said they can't hear you. It's too much reverb. Echo.
Yeah, likewise. That's why I'm getting the same reverb. I just don't know you right. Because I can't even hear it myself. It's like it's doing the same thing over here.
Can I be heard?
No, you clear. You clear.
Let's just see. All right. That's all good. We're going to get a couple more close out. This is a verse. So that just shows what, when the stuff hit the fan, everything we on here, you know, speaking, talking about, man, everybody going to see. Everybody going to acknowledge that they heard us saying that stuff. You know? Because it's basically showing a reflective mind right there in that verse. They shall know I am the Lord. Again, they're going to think about what Ezekiel was doing. And they knew Ezekiel was a prophet. You got to think, our people, we was trained, that's just our heritage. We're still in our heritage at that point. To know about, you know, okay, we have prophets, we're the Lord's people. You know, and even then they didn't give a fuck. So it makes sense why the Lord put us in slavery, man. It made so much sense, man. Because we actually knew. We actually had our order. You know, as kings, it's okay, women is to be like this. So for you to go off then and not acknowledge the system and things, then it just makes sense why we fucking discombobulated, man. But see, the Lord said He's gonna do a new thing in the earth, man. You know, even though that's going into another thing, He's gonna make everything new. He gonna really, I'll say, the Lord is gonna restore His judges as at the first, and He's gonna finally separate us, man. We ain't gonna have to go down all together no more. Be elect. You know? But getting to the point, this is verse 16. But I will leave a few men of them from the sword and from the famine and from the pestilence, which is all the things that's on the way. Famine is on the way. We're gonna actually pull that up with what Joe Biden was talking about. You know, because I might, yeah, come. Let's do this. So this is something, you know, that we've gone into this past week on these order updates, gradualism updates I do, you know, courtesy of Yahweh Shai. And, you know, through Yahweh Shai, power and strength, grace and mercy of Yahweh Shai. And also the World War III candidates that I do, pretty much updates, Gambit updates. This came from the Gambit update, World War III Gambit update. Nonetheless, the ruble, which is the currency of Russia, has collapsed over there. It's basically collapsing. You know, it's lost 40% of its value. You know, which tells you right here since the start of the year, just in a couple months. And pretty much what this has caused is chaos and people over there robbing banks right now, and people resorting to just, you know, beast like nature, which is basically the manifestations of the prophecy through a domino like this. You know, Russia invading Ukraine led to, you know, Russia getting hit with sanctions, which further collapsed their already collapsing currency, and that made that currency valueless to those that held it. It's their citizens. So now their citizens, they basically broke. Everybody poor, and that's making everybody do what? Go to extremes to not die of famine and different calamities. You know, so you got people that's still trying to fight back, and they're trying to convert, because it still has a little value left, but it's damn out of there. So they tell you right here, which I went into in the update, the Gambit update, and they're trying to convert those rubles into, you know, stable currencies while they can before it's completely worthless. That rubble is completely worthless. And it says, I'll just read this. It says it sends interest rates skyward as global investors pull back in horror at the idea of lending to banks or countries that use a currency that could become worthless. Yeah, so that's making all the companies, and which helps an economy, you know, be established in, and that's causing people to lose jobs, because if a company has the support, the backbone, the financing of another company pulls out, if it's a company, people work there. So when they pull out and that finance is no longer there, how's it able to run? And then why do anybody need to work? And that's simply what's going on. And it says what? It says high interest rates slam the brakes on the economy. See that? Throwing people out of work, just as prices soar. As a miserable combination of conditions known as stagflation. And the reason why stuff is going up is because the little bit they do have left that's valuable, they got to try to basically compensate and make a lot of money back, because they lose their money in so many other areas. So when companies pull it back, they're not able to get in certain resources. So that makes the places that's still heavy in the resource that much valuable. So that gives them a reason to rise the price on it. And if they don't, they're not compensating. That's like a compensating method. They're not compensating for all the L's they're taking. Hey, Russia turned to a third world country, you know, if they didn't do that. But like I said, in the same breath, those companies that completely basically out of there, that's throwing people out of work. You know, and then even the companies that's still there and they putting prices up, that's a sign they don't need that many workers. Because how many people are going to be able to actually afford those high prices? Really no one. So you got less traffic, less consumers buying, and now people being fired. You know, and these were people that was just up. They was up. You know, like the Khan said yesterday, it was all good just a week ago, man. You know, like the fucking Kanye person. And the reason why this is relevant is because all this shit is prophecy. It is about to come here, right? So just to get to the nitty gritty of it, don't believe it's gonna happen. So let me finish this in Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel 12 and 16. But I will leave a few men of them from the sword, from the famine, and from the pestilence, that they may declare all their abominations among the heathen, whether they come, and they shall know that I am the Lord. And really, in the spirit, you can say that's synonymous with us, which makes sense, because the Lord ain't having this come upon us for us to not acknowledge Him and be destroyed. You know, nah, He gonna do it to where we damn near everybody gone, and then we're gonna be like, oh, the Lord was playing the wise, you know, while these niggas gonna scoff to the end. It says, shit is crazy, man. It says, I'm gonna read verse 17. Moreover, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, eat thy bread with quaking, you know, meaning shaking, you know, nervousness. Get that word really quick. This word is interchangeable here for shaking. You know, it says, and thy water with trembling, with carefulness, meaning anxiety. Why? Because you see that the Lord brings famine, and this famine, and you know it's on the way. This is what He was telling Ezekiel. Like, you know, so everybody think we just nervous and just upset and just, you know, listen, shit, really we in the right spirit. If you even gauge it like that, but ultimately, we know more than Ezekiel did. We know the Lord not doing this for us; He's doing this for these niggas, man. You know. You see, so the Lord's going to bring a famine to that extent. You know, to that extreme, to where, you know, the Lord will bring a famine to that extreme, to that extent, to where a prophet himself is told to eat his bread nervously. You know, because it's going to be, but really, it's likely when you want to read it. It's proven what I just said, that because Ezekiel was used to do that to represent how everybody else is going to be. Because remember, we know in Isaiah the 65th chapter, the Lord said, my servant shall eat, but he shall be hungry and thirsty. So when you read the next verse in Ezekiel 12 and 19, it says, and say unto the people of the earth, Salaki, you said something?
Lie.
It says, and say unto the people of the Lord, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, power of the inhabitants of Jerusalem and of the land of Israel. They shall eat their bread. They shall eat their bread with carefulness. So that's what that represents. And drink their water with astonishment, that their herd land may be desolate from all that is therein, because of the violence of all them that dwell therein. Yeah, it's the reason for why the Lord is going to allow something to hit like this. You know, so we on here suffering now in y'all eyes, but it's to represent what, you know, yelling and all this other stuff, but it's to represent what the fuck you gonna be doing, man. You know, we about to be straight. The table's about to turn, man. It says, remember the house of David wax stronger and stronger, but the house of Saul wax weaker and weaker. It says, and the cities that are inhabited shall be laid waste, and the land shall be desolate, and you shall know that I am the Lord. And ultimately, this happened already. You know, but in hindsight, knowing how the Lord works, ultimately, He's gonna do all this stuff again, man. Spiritually. Like Jerusalem was sacked already, but it's about to be sacked again spiritually. It says what? By who? Romans. Esau. It says, and the word of the Lord, Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that you have in the land? It's saying the days are prolonged, every vision fell it. You've been on here kind of a long time, you know. I'm not really in the spirit of doing no long ass videos, you know, really anymore. No, it's not ever. I'm not the brother to sit talking fucking ill. It says, tell unless I have something to say. I'll talk to you all goddamn night if I have to. I'm trying to get something through you, you know. Brothers don't need that. It's all right. It's like this is Ezekiel 12 and 23, but it's all in the Lord. So that's simple. That symbolizes it, you know. He's still talking. When's gonna happen? Don't worry. Don't fucking worry. It says the days are prolonged and every vision felleth. Tell them, therefore, thus saith the Lord God. And you know what's you niggas are fucking scoffed because we curse. We curse, but we do what the Lord say to do. You won't do a fucking thing the Lord tell you to do, but you ain't cursing. You know? I know what's going on, but your ass don't, man. Lord ain't dealing with that shit, man. He ain't. Lord is not moving. His thoughts are not your thoughts, man. Your thoughts are not his thoughts, man. Lord, he tries the hearts of men. Now you do try to, you don't want to blemish your good deeds. You know what I'm saying? So try to do it, but hey, fuck it. This verse 23 tells them, therefore, thus saith the Lord God, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, in the effect of every vision. When in the effect of this is a part of the vision. It says Biden warns food shortages will hit U.S. See, it's going to be real. He said, they probably like, man, how you laughing? How you, man, listen, man, I don't give a fuck, man. I don't give a shit, bro. And I know the Lord got us. I know this need. I know this reality. My mind is dirty. I don't give a fuck. I done been without. And I'm saying this is the Lord showed me all to do. Fine. I got the Lord. That's why I got how about now shop. We got how about now shop. I'm gonna do it all with you and how about now shop. And I came out of every situation on top. At the end of the day. So fuck you. All right. Sick of you. Anyway, following a speech at the NATO headquarters in Belgium on Thursday, President Joe Biden warned of impending global food shortages. See, it's global, but it's going to hit here. And these acts, which are acts of the Lord, they're going to play out. They're basically being demonstrated in other places. So we can get ready. The Lord got a lot of mercy, man. You got to think that shit happened to them Edomites. Ain't no Jakes really over there in Ukraine. You got a few Jakes sprinkled because Jake is everywhere, literally. But ain't no Jakes over there. It says, so we are to see these things. The prophets bring them out, filter them back through the scriptures. You got prophets with different measures. It's able to go into it a different angle, or show you domino effects, if you will, stuff like that, right? And ultimately, just to get us prepared, man. But initially, all we're doing is bringing out what the Lord I got going on the earth, and what He's saying is going to go on the earth. Simple. So this is for us to take heed, man. It's like He was using Ezekiel to do. President Joe Biden warned of impending global food shortages caused by sanctions imposed on Russia for its invasion of Ukraine. With regard to food shortages, yes, we did talk about food shortages. And it's going to be real, Biden said. And a lot of this shit set up, a lot of this shit staged, goddamn double ruling the earth, but it's gonna happen. You people not about to be eating. All you so-called thick women, you about to be skinny. You're gonna be skinny. The Lord about to humble you. Like he always set out to do. He hits you where it hurts. To say when the Lord punishes the man, He make it easy His beauty to consume away. So a lot of these women, you about to become malnourished, and it's gonna cause a lot of acne for you. You know what I'm saying? Your fucking hair gonna fall out because of stress. You see what I'm saying? Like this is how it's gonna go down. You damn niggas, you just hey. This is how the Lord works. Believe it or not. So even if you're not preparing for this day, everything you're doing is really it's still in regard to you preparing for this day. A nigga day after day scoffing and trying to build his repertoire raps to try to sell the Jay-Z if you run into him with some shit. It's only leading to it's only being prepared to be hit with family. So that's basically it, man. All right, so closing out. This is Ezekiel 12 and 23. Tell them therefore, thus saith the Lord God, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb. But say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. For there shall be no more any vain vision, nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. For I am the Lord, Yahweh, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall no more be prolonged in your days, or in your days, or rebellious house. So it's when the rebellious Jakes is around. That's when these things happen. It says, this is for them, remember, will I say the word, right, and will perform it. You know, because you need something to rebel to. So this is it. They can't rebel if they don't got nothing to rebel against. So all the rebellious people here, and they're Jakes, and they're rebelling, they're able to be deemed as those rebelling because why? The word is coming out. So now that they're rebelling, what's about to happen? The rest of the vision. The effect of the vision. Niggas being hungry, made to be hungry because of it. The famine is coming. You know? That's one of them. One of the parts of the vision. And it says, again, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he sees is for many days to come. So just like your damn so-called white daddy, man, who's a piece of shit garbage. He couldn't say anything, man. He proved it. Look, it's proven it. The Lord does this family stuff. Even if they use to orchestrate it through their wickedness, the Lord doing it, man. You know? So he's just as pathetic as he looks. His record shows him to be, and we tell him he is. And we tell him to his face he is. We told all you devils, man. You ain't no goddamn different. Everybody of our race ain't no fucking weakling, man. And they watch, man. They listen to us. Got more than this book last night that came out by the Spirit. I'll be posting soon. They talking about the prophecies, man. They ain't gonna come out, and, you know, but they will because they ain't control. They tongue slipper. You know, top ball players of the earth, if you will, is talking about the prophecies. These peons can't keep up with us, man. They can't deal with us. You give us the same of what Esau got, you know, and see who end up on the bottom. You know? But see, the only way he able to fucking get to where he got, because he a ruthless fucking bastard, man. He a soulless bastard. But see, the Lord finna do a great work in Israel, man. He gonna give us that power, man. Your sword ain't gonna prevail. Your unwillingness, your willingness to shed blood unmercifully is not about to, it's not gonna win. It didn't even win. It still didn't win. All that blood you shed, you still can't beat us. That shit crazy. So once again, reason why you Jakes in this mentality is because these people, that's the mentality they in, man. You know, they ain't never been shit. Joe Biden ain't shit. The elite ain't shit. Queen Elizabeth ain't shit. You know, y'all all go back to the same place, and when y'all go back to that place, you're hated. We're loved. We're dealt with in a royal way. You're spittle. You're the people that's gonna be eradicated, man. And you Jakes, you gonna die with them. You gonna die with them. You thought this man can save you? This dude? These people? Son of man, they of the house of Israel say the vision that he seeth is for many days to come. He prophesied of the times that are far off. So they're here, they're co-sign the prophecies being real, the Bible being real. Esau, if he esteemed it, you know, okay, yeah, the Bible real, you know, most Jake will. A lot of Jake don't. They just don't believe in the book at all. It says, therefore, but nonetheless, therefore say up to them, thus saith the Lord power. There shall none of my words be prolonged anymore, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord. How about you know, shouts to all you women that listen, you know, you scandalous as hell, you know, niggas. Fuck you. You know, if you don't repent, fuck you. How about that? The hell with you. The destruction with your ass, man. Because you too busy, you know, a purse scandal's ass the whole time she listening. She just looking for the next hustle. You old, getting older jakes and shit. Lord ain't dealing with you. Lord ain't with you niggas either. You acknowledge the truth. Oh, baby, you too proud. I gotta get up and go. You think you know some shit. You don't know shit because your status in America says you know some shit. You don't know shit. You've taught your tongue to speak lies. And you're gonna really see all that, man, when this man is really revealed to be a powerless being, man. The peon peasant being he truly is. The piece of shit he's always been. This the same people that put your ass in slavery. They ain't changed, man. They really got worse. Now they want to put a chip in your ass. How the hell they know? How the fuck they know a food shortage is gonna be hit if they're not prophets? Obviously, they gotta be listening to us, and two, they gotta be orchestrated. How the hell you just gonna say what's gonna happen if you ain't different? The only way we saying is because this what this saying. But besides this, I don't know. I'm in the same boat Jake in. I don't know, you know. But how are they saying this? Because they listening to us. They know it's only one, you know, they know, but they puff at it. You know? And the whole time they're being used to bring the food shortage. It's all fucking staged, man. All this shit set up, man. That's what makes them the devil. And you're gonna realize them to be the same niggas that was lynching your ass, man. And us to be the same people that came over on the boat with your ass. You know? And not your enemy, man. You know? Your true enemy. The ones that's really there to help you, man. That was in the fields with you. You know? You're gonna realize that, man. Jake was cleaning up with Jake back then during those times. Now with Edomites. Unless they completely cooned out. You know? It's over with. It's over with for coon, man. So you got something, brother?
Lie.
All right, let me hit play on this. Check this out.
The brother of a murdered Chicago teen says he's had enough of that sentiment, thoughts and prayers, and he sent that message to lawmakers in Washington.
Trey Bosley's brother, Terrell, he was fatally shot on the city's far south side more than a decade ago, and the killer in that case has never been captured. He joins us right now to tell us more about a trip that he took to Washington's National Mall, where they laid out thousands of, or at least 1,000 body bags and formed them into the words, thoughts, and prayers. He joins us this morning. Good morning to you, Trey.
Good morning. Good morning. Me and March for Our Lives.
Let me say this, you niggas, it's another thing. Guys just stuck up these scandals because most of these dudes can't even get them. Most of them playing you and hustling y'all ass. But let me go act like all of Jake's players. This shit, that's some bullshit. A lot of you niggas is stuck in the system that Esau allowed you to set up, and he allowed you to feel good. He's stuck in the anesthesia, the spiritual anesthesia he's put your ass in. You know? You get high off that shit. Like this nigga. Nigga got this mask on, but they sit here with no mask on. But they stuck in, you know, it's something about that time when he released the mask to Jake's as a safety protocol. And they basked in it. It became, you know, it lulled them to sleep. You know, that was that spiritual anesthesia. It just proved the point, man. But this is what y'all stuck in. A lot of y'all, you know, you niggas that's stuck on your four-wheelers, you know, riding through the streets on four-wheelers, niggas somewhere shooting dice and shit. You know, this nigga probably a regular Jake. He got a good paying job. He get all the extra hours. He crack jokes with his boss and shit. But he just want to be regular as hell. Cause when it comes to this, he ain't about it. He only about that. You know? And then when we really talk to him, he revealed he really believed in the so-called white man. Nah, bro. And he got the whole fake thug look and he with the shit look and all. It ain't with shit, man. They with shit, literally. And they fucking, you know, they got their head up the so-called white man's ass. And really believe in them as his savior. A dude like this you would talk to and he'll reveal that to you, man. That's what'll come out. That's what you'll realize. Like, damn, bro, you really broken. Nah, I think you should just leave them alone. Wait, bro, what you? Get music, get in the car, he playing trap and drill music and all this other crazy ass stuff, man.
Came to DC. And
I just want the white man to say, you know, instead of talking to you, he going to get a new raise. He trying to become the manager. These niggas. And you tell them, like, yo, boy, they ain't with us, bro. You know, family finna hit. They settled. And he old enough to know about how slavery happens, how slavery happened to us and all of that. And he'll still trust in those same people. So just to warm you up into what this about to bring out, man. You know, and like niggas is just stuck in old systems, damn double set up for Jake to be lost in and feel good. That's another thing you niggas is lost in, man. You know? Simple ass niggas, man. That's a movie, the idea of the manifestation of a certain movie, Hollywood, the so-called white man allowed to come out for you to feel good and be lost in, and you try to go and emulate, You lost in you lost in that, trying to do that.
And we had 1,100 body bags, each representing 100 seed.
And prayers. He joins us this morning. Good morning to you, Trey.
Good morning. Good morning. Me and March for Our Lives came to DC, and we had 1,100 body bags, each representing 150 lives taken by gun violence since 2018.
Well, this is a pretty bold, some might even say a graphic message, but you felt this had to be done. Why?
Oh, because Congress and elected officials, Joe Biden and other people don't understand that gun violence is an issue that we're dealing with every day. And they asked to get voted into office and that they would make these changes, they would fulfill their promises, and we're not seeing any of the fruits of our labor. So we need them to see what they've been producing.
Talk a little bit about your brother. My understanding was innocent bystander in the wrong place at the wrong time. What do you?
A lot of you niggas also stuck in Christianity with the so-called white man game. You know, the intimacy of the scriptures that the so-called white man gave them. That's another thing from a lot of different age groups.
What do you want our viewers to know about your brother Terrell?
I want viewers to understand my brother Terrell was shot and killed April 4, 2006 at church while getting ready for band rehearsal. Just understand that in Chicago, you can be doing whatever. You can just be outside, you can be on the porch, you can be in your home, just doing the right thing, you can still lose your life.
And I got to imagine when people talk to you about it and they say, well, you know, we'll keep you in our thoughts and prayers. I got to imagine, you know, that's nice, but you need more.
Yes. Oh, yes. We want action behind our words. I mean, you have to understand if violence hasn't occurred to you, it's a snowball effect, and eventually it will get to you if you do nothing about it. So instead of thoughts and prayers, we need action.
We're less than a year away from a pretty big mayoral election here in Chicago. What is your message to Mayor Lightfoot and those who will oppose her, looking to become, the mayor here, with regard to what they say after someone is killed or falls victim to gun violence here in the city?
For Mayor Lori Lightfoot and those running for office, we're tired. We're tired of your blanket promises. You go on the campaign trail, you say you'll do these things, and we look up and all you do is fund the police. We don't get any violence prevention funding. We don't get any job readiness programming. You just fund the police and don't help the actual situation. So we're done voting for people that just talk on the campaign.
Talk to us about, you know, for people who have never experienced anything like what you've gone through in your life, how did that single moment of your brother's life being taken so violently change everything in your family's world?
Well, just from that, you never look at life the same. Like, I constantly look over my shoulder. I never even thought about making it to the age of 23. My brother died at the age of 18. You just think about what they would have been doing around this time in their life. Would he have kids? Would he have a family? What would he be accomplishing? And those questions can never be answered because my brother was taken from him.
And this is something your family hasn't been able to escape. My understanding is your mom, who works in the community to help other people devastated by violence, sometimes gets calls, multiple calls a week from other family members who have lost someone to gun violence, right?
Oh yeah. My mother's work. She speaks with parents just about every week of murdered children, and she's been doing this work for a long time, and that's what really got me into this work. Just her drive to help others, and she doesn't want to see other people feel this pain, and I don't want them to either.
Well, okay. Well, Trey Bosley, brother of Terrell Bosley, murder victim here in Chicago. The case remains unsolved. And again, you know, if people want to give any tips on your brother's case, give police a call. What area district is, or what area is working with your family on that case?
Actually, we haven't been hearing anything from any of the detectives on our case. We used to provide information, and they never followed up. So at this point, we don't know who we should contact.
Well, there you go. That's the frustration for a lot of families here in Chicago and around the country, but really here in Chicago. Hey, thank you very much, Trey, for your time today. Good work out there, sending messages and you know, making sure that our lawmakers are being held accountable for the things they say as they run for office.
Thank you.
You got to believe to win in March. Until you don't.
Yeah, you heard that, right? That's everything we just wanted to, right? Like, literally. You know? That's everything. That's Isaiah 30. That's Lamentations 4. Save me. Joe Biden, he mentioned Joe Biden, right? Joe Biden don't understand. Save me. My brother died in 06. Nigga soft as hell. These stupid ass braids. These braids are synonymous with rappers that portray themselves as killers. You got little peon niggas like him walking around with this image. So y'all it's all fake. Everything's fake. Everything is fake, man. It's just not real. But I'm gonna say this. When the body started dropping and all this stuff pull up, all the hours, all the yelling don't make sense. You got something you wanna say? All right. I'll close out right here. This is Isaiah. You know, and another thing Jake stuck into these dudes, these niggas is in the spiritual anesthesia set up by a so-called white man, which is protesting. And we know they set up protesting. Because what does George Soros do? You know, they won't take the protest. Anything will return back to the father because ain't nothing gonna get done like that. And instead, that's gonna allow them to be able to bust Jake's head open, man. You know, George Soros fund protest movements. You know, he got caught, he got exposed. This is Isaiah 45, and I'm gonna start at 25. It says,
Salaki. Yeah, I got something real quick.
About you right?
Yeah, it's Sirach chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness." So that was just straightforward, man. You don't never trust your enemy. You know, and it's plain. No matter how they look, no matter how they present themselves, man. Just like iron rusted, you know, that wickedness is go be there, man.
Yeah, you couldn't hear him, you know. You know what I'm saying? Never trust the enemy. You know, everything about him that's known to always be the way he is going to remain. You know, the way he's going to always be there, you know. But basically, Isaiah 45, and I'm going to start at 22. Look unto me and be ye saved, all the ends of the earth, for I am God, the power, and there is none else. I have sworn by myself in the word, it's like I have sworn by myself, the word is gone out of my mouth in righteousness. And with the Lord's mouth it says, and shall not return, that unto me every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall swear. Yeah, well, you see, Esau ain't shit. You see, that's what they seeing, and they don't want to admit it. They can't accept it. Like, the niggas see it. Because you're gonna take 100 fake dead bodies and line them up at the White House. Because for your brother that got killed in 06, like they give a fuck. You know? They don't care. Damn dummy.
Man.
Surely shall one say in the Lord, Yahweh Shai, have I righteousness and strength. He said, surely shall one say, that's prophecy. We're those ones. You know, in the Lord Yahweh Shai have I righteousness and strength. Even to him shall men come. Right? We're gonna say all this. That one is gonna say this. Lord makes you right. Not the so-called white man say, Lord is strength, not the so-called white man. And not everybody gonna come to Yahweh Shai. That's what this man gonna say. It says, and all that are incensed against him shall be ashamed. And the Lord fucking the so-called white man up. You know, because in the midst of Jake complaining, that's showing that Esau losing grip on niggas. You know? Because think about it, niggas couldn't used to complain back in during the shackle slavery days. You still in slavery, niggas couldn't complain. Master, you hitting me too hard, Master, please. Niggas couldn't do that. But now niggas can get on TV and complain and call them out when they fuck shit. Esau losing grip. Lord fucking Esau up. You know? Esau needs to worry about all these scandals coming out on his ass. Talk about that. It says, surely shall Saki. It says, and the Lord, which is through Yahweh Shai, called Almighty Yahweh Shai. You see that's Joe Biden's son, you know, Hunter Biden in the picture. Nigga a fucking crackhead, man. Your teeth look like that when you don't crack and shit. Nigga got veneers now, so you can't tell. And we're gonna keep going on y'all asses, man. Lord exposing them. Them ones ain't nothing but a bunch of redneck, devil, drunk ass, cocaine snorting, profane, pork eating, just diabolical, wicked ass, same ass people that was hanging us on. It's the same people, man. They ain't nothing special. They wouldn't try to put a suit on and slip their hair over. Niggas doing crack and shit. You know? Fuck out of here, man. Doing all type of shit. It says, in the Lord, Yahweh Shai, and Jake, you're going to see it. Eventually, shall all the seed of Israel be justified and shall glory. So yeah, that's the only way you're going to be justified. You know? I don't want to see it, so the Lord, you know, he bring a family, he starve your ass to death. And the same people that was telling you those Bible boys and the Hebrew Israelites, when they the only ones eating, and you remember how they was telling you the Lord was going to do this, and clearly you end up seeing, okay, the Lord is doing this. It's how he eating and I ain't eating. That's when you're going to know, because damn, and the Lord, I am justified. Man. You know, so that's basically it. So with that, you got anything else?
That's it, Doc.
Yep. And look, your damn daddy told your ass, man. He wanted us to start with niggas. While he talking about Joe Biden and his brother, nobody ain't worried about your black ass, boy. You know? So call on Yahweh.
Yahweh Shai.
You know, sorry. I ain't saying sorry. All right, so Father, go upon me,